So, a very good welcome to our lesson today. I want us to learn about project management for virtual assistants. So, we will first define what is project management, why is it important. We will cover the different phases of our project. We'll also cover the different tools that you can use for project management. Then we'll have an assignment that will help you master project management. So first thing first, what is a project? Now, in simple terms, a project is a temporary effort to achieve a specific goal. The simplest example I can give is a construction project. Most of us are familiar with the construction, or most of us are living in houses. For a house to be complete, it has to start from the idea, it comes to the plan, then the construction, then completion and launch, maybe housewarming. So in simple, project is a temporary effort. Now, many virtual assistants have to juggle between multiple clients. They have to do multiple tasks, and without a clear structure, it becomes overwhelming. And that's why project management is an important concept, not just for client satisfaction, but to show that you have control of what you are doing. So managing a project simply means that you are in control. If it's a construction project, it means that you are the guy who is in charge of procurement of materials. You are buying stones, you are ensuring that the cement is delivered in time, you ensure that the workers have been paid. Not that you deliver materials, you deliver the sand, cement, and stone, but when it comes to payment, people have not been paid. People are complaining. Or when it comes to the quality of work, you find shoddy work has been done. So project management is equals to control, clarity, and customer satisfaction. Clients pay more when they trust you to lead projects. Clients will not trust you just because you can execute, but they trust you because you can provide leadership. So, project management involves planning action points and the fulfillment of those actions. Any activity that requires several steps is called a project. So we are in the definition, we are still in the definition. Any activity that requires several steps can be called a project. A project can be anything big or small. As I've explained, it can be as simple as completing a white paper or a case study. It can be as complex as building a story building. It can be as complex as expanding a business internationally. Clients, for VS, it is important to define the goal of our project and what it includes. So I've already given some examples of projects. I will want to give you more. Like you can be given a project of sending your CV to a number of potential employers if you are actively looking for a job. It can involve, a project can be signing contracts with 3 new clients. It can be creating a new app. It can be writing and publishing a book. It can be hosting a conference. It can even be throwing a party. So why is it important to plan? A project plan is simply a schedule of tasks and responsibilities and deadlines that must be followed to accomplish a particular objective. A project plan is also referred to as a work plan. For example, if you are in academia, When I was doing my master's project, I had to come up with a Gantt chart. It's one of the requirements at Kenyatta University. You must produce a Gantt chart to show what are your key milestones and what are the tasks that you're going to do, starting from writing your proposal, doing your data collection, writing your report until you submit a thesis. So that's an example of a clear project and plan. So now that we've gone into that, what are some of the terms that you will hear or you will want to or you will come across when you are dealing with project management? Number one term is scope. When you hear someone talking about scope, they mean what is included or what is not included in the project. For example, if it is a research project, your research project, maybe the scope is conducting surveys, just simple surveying of customers. The scope may not involve maybe going to extract data from government sources. Maybe the scope is only on primary data. So that's what we mean by scope. And it all depends on the project that you are doing. Then milestones. Milestones refer to key checkpoints that can help track progress. Then we have deliverables as another term. Deliverables are tangible outputs. I will use the example of writing a book. A deliverable can be the outline for the book. Another deliverable would be the first draft. Another deliverable would be the completed manuscript. Another deliverable would be maybe the cover page. And finally, publishing the book. Then timeline is another concept or term. This one refers to when each task should be completed. Timeline can be, if you want to publish a book, maybe it will take 2 weeks. For others, it can take 2 months. So that is the timeline, the time factor. Then we have client brief. Client brief is simply the project blueprint. This is the roadmap. What will be done in that particular project? Where is it going to be done? So the blueprint will include all those details, a clear plan. Then the next thing is project phases. A project has several phases that you need to familiarize yourself with. The first phase of a project is the initiation phase. This is where you're going to define the goal with your client. Your client wants to write a book or publish a book. You have to define the goal with your client. You become more specific. What type of book? Is it an educational book? Is it a fictional or non-fictional book? Is it a children's book or adult book? Is it a professional? Is it a book for professionals or is it a book for laymen? So you have to do that during the initiation phase of the project. Number 2 is planning. Planning is a stepwise breakdown or analysis. You break down tasks and assign deadlines. So using the same example of a book, you'll have to assign who is going to come up with the title of the book, who is going to come up with the outline of the book, who is going to write the first chapter, who is going to write the second chapter, and when is the time, when is that second chapter or third chapter going to be submitted. Then execution. Execution simply means do the work or delegate. If it's writing a book, are you going to do the outline yourself? Are you going to write the chapters yourself? Are you going to do the cover design yourself? Are you going to do the illustrations yourself? So if it is delegating, where are you going to delegate? Who are you going to delegate the tasks? So that is the execution. Then monitoring is simply tracking the progress of that project and updating the client. For example, you set the deadline for submitting chapter 1 of your book. You gave the deadline of 2 weeks. At what time are you going to update the client? Are you going to wait past 2 weeks? Then you send an email to your client. For me, the best would be you update the client maybe in a week's time. Chapter 1 is almost ready. Then before 3 or 2 days before the deadline, you submit the work. You tell the client that here is the completed chapter 1 of your book. So that is monitoring. Then closing of the project, you deliver the results and collect feedback. If it's a book, you have to publish the book, start getting feedback. What are customers saying about the book? What are readers saying about the content of the book, the style and format and so on? So that will help you, or that will be closing or closure of the project. Next is project management tools. This is where so many virtual assistants are worried or fearful. But the reality of the matter is that you don't need to master all project management tools. You simply need to pick one that fits your client's workflow. But we will cover some of the core tools that are used for project management. So number one tool is Trello. Trello is a good tool because it has a visual board, and it's also good for freelancers. To access Trello, you simply type Trello on Google search, then you have to sign in. You sign in with your email or social media account. Then once you log in, you'll be able to navigate through the different sections of the platform. But the important thing, you need to have mini freelance projects that you are working on so that you can learn how the site works. Then another tool is called ClickUp. ClickUp is a more advanced tool. It is used for managing teams. If you are the client and you have several teams, maybe you are running an IT project. You have people who are doing the graphic design. You have guys who are doing the back end. You have guys who are doing the social media management. Those are different teams, and you can manage them on ClickUp. So as a virtual assistant, you need to know how you can work under the platform of ClickWork to provide maybe updates on what you are doing. You provide feedback to your client on what is happening. You become part of the bigger team for you to be considered to be valuable in that ecosystem. Then we have Google Sheets. Google Sheets is a very simple but very powerful tool. I found Google Sheets to be useful for budgets and timelines. Personally, I've used Google Sheets to manage a very big project, a very big construction project that I managed using Google Sheets. It is a very good tool for creating budgets. You know, when you are a project manager, you have to prepare budgets. You have to show the stakeholders that this is what we're going to do, in this phase. For example, if it is a house, you need to show the stakeholders that we have a project idea. We want to construct a story building. This is the plan. What is the cost of the plan? Maybe it's 500,000. You need to break down, come up with a budget. Next, you want to go to compliance with the county government. What is required? What is the budget for complying with the county government? You need to show that during the planning phase. Then comes to the construction. You want to show the project owners or whoever owns the project. You want to show them how much have you allocated for doing the excavation? How much have you allocated for the stones, how much have you allocated for cement, how much have you allocated for labor. So you need to break down those things. And Excel and Google Sheets are very powerful. You simply list the items, you key in the figures, the quantities, then it gives you the total amount. A very simple structure that the client can be able to follow. So if you can master Google Sheets, it's a very good starting point for project management. In fact, Google Sheets alone can earn you a client who can pay you a very good amounts of money just to manage their ongoing projects. So the assignment for this week will be number one. You will do an exercise. Assume you are hired as a virtual assistant to help a client to do a marketing campaign on Facebook. Your client wants to run a campaign on Facebook. They want you to help in budgeting. They want you to use a tool like Google Sheets so that you come up with a budget for that particular project. So that project will include creative ads. For you to run an ad on Facebook, you need some creative ads. So perhaps you will pay someone to design. So designing is one of the activities. Then setting up the campaign on MetaSuite. What will be the cost? Assuming that the project is going to run for 2 weeks, you come up with a budget on that. Then if it's also the client wants to also to maybe do influencer marketing, they want also to find an influencer on Facebook, they allocate some amount of money and run the campaign during that period. So also come up with some figures. The figures have to be realistic. Then we will set up a timeline for these milestones and decide how will you update the client on your progress. Okay, so that will be the assignment. So finally, I want to maybe set aside time. Maybe you have a question. Maybe you can share some insights. How has been the journey in learning or to becoming a virtual assistant? Yes? Maybe the voice is too low. Yes, Whitney.
Okay, so the coursework has been really nice.
Yes.
And very insightful personally. And I want you to know, since I did submit some of my assignments last week, is that okay if I do them this week?
Yeah, it's still okay. I will look at them. The most important is you try and do the tasks because they help you to master. They prepare you in whatever task that you'll be given. You'll already have some things you have touched on. For example, if you try and do the task on project management using Google Sheets, if you try and go and create a budget on Google Sheet, when someone else, a client approaches you and tells you, do you know how to use Google Sheet? You see, you will be able to say, I know, and you will save time. Maybe the client will not have to train you, or you'll not need more time to go and learn the skill. Yeah, so hiyo ndio maana tuna emphasize watu wafanye hizi assignments. But ukiangalia nili slow down a bit on them because niliona pia ni mingi sana. 3 assignments every week is not a job.
Yeah, true.
So I slowed down ndio nikaona leo pia wacha ni include hii assignment.
Okay, ni sawa, haina shida, asante.
Yeah, so you keep up the work. I think on Friday we will have the last one, the last lesson. Then from there tutaenda kwa mentorship. Maybe we'll take 1 week break, then tuende kwa mentorship. Kwa wale wanataka kuwa mentored, ndio tutaonyeshana mambo ya how to optimize LinkedIn and all these other social media accounts so that you can increase your chances. How to DM. Those are the things that most experts are talking about that can increase the chances of you getting a client. Yeah, otherwise, thank you so much for your time. We'll see you on Friday.
Okay, thank you. Bye.